Last year we saw around 300 children who were abused or had some form of trauma in their life. But last year there was also 3,000 documented cases of child abuse in our county. So we're seeing less than 1/10 of those cases. How can we do more?
Are we gonna eat?
My daughter was 6,
There's no chairs.
and I had been away on a cruise for a week. While I had gone on the cruise, my children stayed. One stayed with my mother, and another one stayed with a girlfriend. And our stepson, who was 18 years old, basically had the run of the house while we were gone. And a couple of days after being home, my brother-in-law contacted me and asked me if my youngest daughter had said anything or if my stepson had said anything. So I just asked my daughter, did you see your brother while we were on vacation? And she very openly and honestly and calmly admitted that, yeah.
They're gonna get married and then
They had come back to our place and they had played Barbies and they had gotten them undressed and made the Barbies do funny things.
I don't like that game.
He had asked her if she wanted to try to do those funny things, so she went along with it.
I don't really wanna.
While I sat there trembling, trying to stay calm and listening to it, I was trying to formulate what we would do. And my first reaction, of course, was to figure out how to get my stepson out of the house, first and foremost, and then where to take my daughter for help. Years and years down the line, 2 psychiatrists later, it was role play, it was cognitive behavior therapy, a lot of medication, all trying to deal with her acting out and her horrible behavior, and her performance in school had gone downhill. She literally in school was constantly getting in trouble. She was getting in fistfights. She was on track to be suspended and expelled from her middle school. It just continued to accelerate, and the older she got, the worse it got, because she's actually taller than I am. So physically containing her was becoming difficult for me. I was at a loss. I was willing to try anything, so I ended up going online and just Google searching different things. Crisis Center popped up. I went in for the interview. They explained that the whole premise of their program is to help recover from a sexual assault. They weren't there to prescribe medication to my daughter or to deal with ADD suspicions or educational problems. They were going to take it all the way back to the very first event and work forward. And when they told me that, it struck such a bell. I was like, that's it. It all started there. I'm only crying because it was like such a common or simple idea that I couldn't believe I had been through so many years of different techniques and procedures, and nobody had suggested maybe the whole root cause of it is she's still struggling with what happened to her. And they helped me recover, and they helped me identify that I had, in essence, frozen time. I was protecting my 6-year-old daughter throughout all those years, being her advocate. And they helped me realize that all I needed to be was her parent.
I love you, Mom.
If I could have been directed towards the crisis center as soon as it happened, I think a lot of misery could have been spared. Through the crisis center, she now has the hope for a future. She has drive again. She's happy. She's concerned about her appearance. She's concerned about her friends. She's concerned about consequences. She dreams of things that she wants to be. And I credit the entire happy ending to the crisis center. I was hoping that we could survive, and the crisis center has given us so much more. We're living now, we're not surviving.
Just think if we had more staff to work with, we could potentially see all 3,000 of those children. And who knows what difference that could make for all of us. Each week we answer on average about 30 calls from people who are thinking about taking their life. Yet last year there was also 199 suicides in our county. Where were we for those people? We want to be there, and we know we can be there. If we have more, we can do more.
the use of trying? I feel so alone.
What can I do?
Why me?
I can't take anymore.
Last year, we took over 1,600 crisis calls. There were plenty of calls that came in. We didn't necessarily have the time or the staff to cover all of those calls. So just one more person for 1 hour could make the difference between somebody living and dying.
I wish it was all over.
People who are driven to suicide are not some marginal group of people that nobody knows. They're your brothers and your sisters and your children and your grandparents.
No one will ever notice if I'm gone.
It is your problem. You may not want to look at it, and I could certainly understand why you wouldn't want to look at it, actually. But putting your head in the sand doesn't make the danger go away. There's a million things that we could be doing that could actually prevent suicide. We do have evidence-based practices out there. We're just not doing it. If we had more money, we'd be doing more because we do know what to do. We just don't have the money to do it right now. If we each did our part, and it's a very small part, it's your Starbucks card for the month. If we each did that, then we could, each of us, say that we saved somebody.
I love you.
I love you too.
I never stopped thinking about that potential, about all of those people who could bring something to our society. All of that potential is being squandered, and it doesn't have to be that way. We have a chance to fix that. There's so many things we can't fix. We can fix that. And if we do nothing else, I think we should try. The reality is, every single 15 seconds, somebody in this country kills themselves. So, how many minutes do you want to waste?
It doesn't take a lot, but it does take people who care and are willing to give of themselves to make, to help us to help them. We see about 300 women a year who have been sexually assaulted. We know that that represents less than 1/3 of all the sexual assaults in our community.
March 12, 1999 was a Friday night. My very first thought was, I'm gonna die here. I'm never gonna see my family. I'm gonna die right here. These men are in my home with a gun, and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I was forced onto my stomach on the bed first. My eyes were taped over with duct tape. During the actual rape, I had a gun held to me with a pillow over my head. I just thought, if I don't fight, maybe they won't kill me. If I just lay here and don't fight, maybe I'll survive through this. And that's when I let myself just go limp. I just laid as still as I could, and I just held my breath until they left the room. As soon as I heard the front door shut is when I got off the bed and just started wiggling down the hall. After 911 arrived, a detective from the sheriff's office came in and explained to me that they would be taking me to the crisis center, kind of explained to me what it was. Got to the crisis center and I was greeted by a very nice nurse who took me into a real quiet, calm room. She explained how everything was going to happen. Once it was finished, I was offered a shower. I could shower before I left, a toothbrush. I was given some clothes to put on. Called me the very next morning to check on me. The crisis center did. How are you? Did the medicines make you ill? Here's some phone numbers. Here's, we have crisis counseling, we have group counseling, we have one-on-one counseling. Whenever you're ready. If the crisis center had not been there, I would have been dragged through some cold hospital, probably re-traumatized again that very same night. I probably wouldn't have found counseling until I was in the floor and my mom forced it on me or something. I don't know where I would be right now. Every second counted for me because I was given a chance. I got to put one of my perpetrators behind bars because I was taken to the crisis center where they collected the evidence, and that evidence was used in my trial and was able to prosecute. Every second counts for my life. It does. Had I not had the counseling, had I not had the people that cared and would call and check on me and showed me, I don't know that I would have survived through it. I feel good. I feel really good. I have my life. I have a beautiful daughter. I'm getting married, and I'm just as happy as could be now. The Crisis Center saves lives. They give people a second chance. They give people hope. Every second of every day counts.
That's why it's so important that the Crisis Center be there 24/7. That we not only be there, but that we're able to respond. We want to do more. We can do more. We must do more. But we can only do that if we have more to do it with.